Hello Boro fans, how you doing? Have you had a good week? Well, I've had a good week because I went to QPR and Middlesbrough won 4-1. What a result that was, what a performance. And I'm so looking forward to the Luton match on Saturday lunchtime. We're going to do a quick preview of that. We're going to look back at QPR. We're going to discuss team news ahead of the match. So it's a 12:30 kickoff at Riverside on Saturday. Middlesbrough are 8th after a 4-1 win away to QPR. Luton are 19th. They've been struggling, but they won 1-0 at home to Cardiff in their last match. On screen now is the lineup from that match against Cardiff. Luton's game against Cardiff, it was a tight match. It was 0-0 for large periods up until the goal scored by Jacob Brown, on 57 minutes. Goal scored from an Alfie Doughty corner. Jacob Brown met it with his head. I would say Luton's main threat is from set pieces. They also like to get it out wide to their attacking fullbacks and wingers, getting crosses into the box. Listening to Luton fans, they've been shouting for them to shoot from outside the box. Bit like Middlesbrough, they like to pass it and try and get it out wide, cross it in, and then or get it in the box and then shoot. So we'll have to see how they do in that match tomorrow. Some latest news coming out. The team news for Luton is they're going to be missing Alfie Doughty for the trip to Middlesbrough. He's one of their main attacking wing threats and corner set piece takers. So that's a real blow for Luton, who lost Doughty in the last few minutes of that match against Cardiff. So it'll be interesting to see who he's replaced with and if that does stifle them. So just to mention about Luton, although they're 19th in the league, there's only 6 points between us and them. Obviously we're in 8th. And we're looking up the table. But Luton 1-0, they'll be looking up the table themselves, especially if they get some more points here against Boro. So Luton have only scored 2 fewer than Boro this season, but they've conceded 5 more. And like I said, they're only 6 points worse off. It shows how tight the league is, really. Luton last won away from home. That was 1-0 on the 14th of September against Millwall. And that was after a run of poor results where they didn't win for the first 5 matches of the season. And it's only last season they were in the Premier League. So a bit like Boro, their forms remain patchy. So some stats: 14 games played, they've scored 16 goals. They've conceded 21, they've won 4, drawn 3, but lost 7. And they've only picked up 4 clean sheets. So on screen now is the Boro team from the midweek QPR match. We won 4-1. A game that I attended. And I think Boro pretty much dominated the match for certainly the first half. Although QPR did have several chances and Dieng made some great saves. There wasn't any sustained periods of pressure where I thought Middlesbrough were in a bit of a pickle. I thought Middlesbrough handled themselves quite well, defended resolutely. There was a few sloppy passes and that helped QPR to get out. But generally I think Middlesbrough really imposed themselves on the game, dominated possession like they usually do. Didn't really give QPR much of a sniff, although they did have several corners and free kicks, but they couldn't make use of it. And I think QPR's lack of quality showed, and Middlesbrough really came to the fore, especially with Ben Doak back in the side. Ben Doak was the one who obviously set up the first goal. His mazy dribble into the box, beating I think it was Heverton Santos, the left full-back. He crossed it in for Riley McGree, and he beat the defender quite easily and volleyed it in, and that set us on our way, really. Yeah, so it was only like 4 or 5 minutes later when Finnasaz found space on our right hand side, he just seemed to put a daisy cut of a ball into the box, and QPR just didn't want to defend it, and Ryan McGree just sneaked in there, didn't know and picked it up, and it was an easy goal really, and that made it 2-0. And it saw out a comfortable first half for Boro. Second half, Middlesbrough again controlled possession, and it looked to score a third. Ben Doak, even though he was booked early in the first half, he wasn't withdrawn, and you can see Carrick rates him highly, and he is obviously one of our best players now, so we can't really afford to take him out of the team early on in matches, I think, because Isaiah Jones, even when he comes on, doesn't do a lot, but he's going to have to if he wants to get back in this team. But yeah, so as we approached the 70th minute, I think it was from a corner, a bit of a scramble. Steve Cook, the centre half for QPR, he got in ahead of Luke Ayling, and I think he just tried to put it back in the mixer or try and put it in the net, I don't know, but it came off Dijksteel. It was in the end an obvious own goal, but it was credited at the time to Steve Cook, and we thought, are Boro going to implode again? You know, comfortable 2-0 lead, 2-1, 20 minutes to go. But Boro held firm. They're some more resolute defending, and then it was sort of a breakaway goal. Great pass from Ryan McGree, split the defence, and Latte Lat, who came off the bench, he obviously rounded the keeper twice, totally fooled them, and then put it into an empty net. And then we weren't finished there. It was late into the 95th minute when Dan Bolasso, another substitute, comes on and works the space, does a bit of a 1-2 with their defender, ricochets back to him, and he decides to just shoot from the outside of the box. I think he caught the keeper unaware. It was a great curling effort low into the far right hand corner, and that really was the cherry on the icing on the cake for Boro's performance that night. So it was great performance, great result, and Boro, again looking upwards. But can we build on it? So as you look at the team, you think that front four, Finnasaz, who's one of our highly creative players, who's getting most assists, most create chances, key contributions, not just for Boro but just in the league as well. Ryan McGree's come back from an injury, and he's looking more and more sharp, and he's getting more involved, getting assists as we know he can do. Ben Doak's man of the match performance is consistently our best player when he plays, against Norwich and then against QPR. And then you've got the Tommy Conway, who's definitely now nudged ahead of Latte Lat, but Latte Lat's come off the bench and showed that he's still capable of scoring goals. So yeah, we've got options. Dan Bolasso looked good when he come on. Dijksteel came on as well. He's very good going forward. It'd be nice if we can get Luke Ayling. We've got quite a few assists last season. If we can get him more forward. Hayden Hackney's obviously still suspended, so I'm still happy that we've got Johnny Howson fit, and partnering up with Morris is a real benefit for Morris, who's a very tenacious midfielder, very strong. He looks solid, to be honest. And I'm a big Matt Clark fan. Vandenberg's injured, he probably would be in there ahead of him, but I like Matt Clark. And Edmondson, who's coming on loan from Ipswich, he's a bulky baller, as I'd call him. Strong as an ox. Looks the part, really. Just what we need. And Sonny Dieng had a great game at QPR. But again, we still find a way to concede a goal. We just can't get any clean sheets. It's a rare commodity for Boro these days. But going into the Luton match, I'm really excited about this one. I'll be watching it on the red button on Sky Sports. 12:30 kickoff on Saturday at the Riverside. Yeah, can't wait for this one. I'm going to predict that Boro will win, and I think it'll be tighter than QPR. But I'm going to go for 2-1. I'm going to go for 2-1.